Today we're going to be looking at cards and combos for Nekusar the Mind Razor, the 15th most popular commander as of this recording. Let's get right into it. So 90% of combos in a Nekusar deck are the same, especially if you're going the wheel route. You need a card that makes your opponents take damage when they draw, and then a card to make them draw. Since there are so many of these, I'm just going to group them all as one, since they're not very creative, but since they're kind of the bread and butter of a Nekusar deck, I feel like I need to include them. For damage dealing cards, I run Fate Unraveler, Spiteful Visions, Ob Nixilis the Hate Twisted, and Underworld Dreams, and to wheel or to draw, I run Windfall, Magus of the Wheel, and Winds of Change. This is all a very easy setup. You have your damage dealing card on the board, then you cast your wheel spell or your draw spell, and each opponent will take 7 damage or however much damage they drew. And you repeat until everyone's dead. The next combo is Niv Mizzet the Firemind plus Curiosity, or you can also use Ophidian Eye. This is more of a Niv Mizzet combo, but it fits into Nekusar pretty nicely since you're already going to be drawing cards. Niv Mizzet is a creature that reads, when you draw a card, deal 1 damage to any target, and Curiosity is an enchantment aura that reads, whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So once you have Niv Mizzet enchanted, you can tap it to draw a card, ping your opponent for 1, draw a card, and repeat until they're dead. This combo is super easy to activate, and you'll probably be able to pump out 60 to 70 damage before you deck yourself out, which of course is fine if you have a plan for that, like having a Lab Maniac on the battlefield. The next combo is Prosperity plus Hive Mind. So the biggest problem with these spells that say draw X cards is that you have to sink so much mana into them, and you usually don't get enough out. Plus you're also giving your opponents cards, which can be risky if it's not a part of a big play, but this is where Hive Mind comes in. With Hive Mind out in the battlefield, if you cast a Prosperity with X equals 4, each other player will copy the spell with an X of 4. So if you're in a 4-player game, that is 3 more copies of draw 4 cards, giving you a total of 16 cards per player, which is a much better rate than before. And with your commander out, that's going to do 16 damage to each opponent. Now we're going to look at some cards that are going to help you close out a game. So the first one is Peer into the Abyss, which is a bit pricey. It costs 4 generic and 3 black. And it's a sorcery that says, target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life. Round up each time. So basically, this is really simple. You just target your opponent with this. They'll draw half the cards in their library. You'll have Nekusar out. You'll have another pinger out that'll do damage. And they'll take 30 to 40 damage, depending on how many cards are left in their library. But they'll also lose half their life. So by then, they'll be dead. Very good card. Closes out games 99% of the time. Next card I have is very fun. It's called Teferi's Puzzle Box, and this is an artifact that says at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player puts the cards in their hand on the bottom of their library in any order, then draws that many cards. Now, I don't think I've ever lost a game if I've gotten this out. Being able to wheel each player pretty much every turn just results in so much damage. You'll be doing so much. Not only that, you'll be disrupting every other player, so spells that they're saving for later and counter spells, that's all gone. That's going to the bottom of their library. It's very good. You'll be doing tons of damage with this and whichever other creatures you have out, especially Nekusar. Your opponents will hate you for playing it though. But if you win, who cares, right? The next cards I'm going to show you are a little bit less used, but I still think they fit great into any Nekusar deck. The first one is Alenia Divergent Storm, which is only 1% of Nekusar decks. She reads, whenever you cast a spell, if it's the first instant spell, the first sorcery spell, or the first otter spell other than Alenia you've cast this turn, you may have target opponent draw a card. If you do, copy that spell. And you can choose new targets for the copy. First off, copying a spell is a great ability, and there's a little line that I like to do with this. If you cast a Dark Ritual, and it's the first instant, you'll copy that spell. Means you get 6 black mana, which you can then put into Peer into the Abyss, plus another black mana, which will get doubled by Alenia since it's the first sorcery spell. And since we just talked about Peer into the Abyss, and it's pretty much a one-shot kill, if you use it, you're going to be killing 2 players at once. So you can also use Alenia to copy other copy spells, like Galvanic Iteration or Teach by Example, which means your next spell is going to get copied twice. The options here are pretty much limitless, and I'm honestly shocked that out of 22,000 Nekusar decks, only 231 of them include this card. I mean, one of the abilities is literally just having an opponent draw a card, and that's the downside of this card. Next up, we have Counter Squall, which is only in 1.9% of Nekusar decks. This card reads, counter target non-creature spell, its controller loses 2 life. This card is just a counter spell, nothing too special, nothing too crazy, but it's just a better negate. And counter spells are very good. Any blue deck should run them. I just get tired of seeing the same old counters like Arcane Denial, Offer, Negate, Swan Song, things like that. So I like to switch it up a little bit. I think it's better than Negate just for that 2 life, honestly. But I think this is a great alternative to any of those consistent counter spells you see too often. Lastly, we have Brain in a Jar, which I could not even find how many Nekusar decks this card is in, so I'm just going to assume it's pretty low. I did find out that it's only in 0.03% of total decks, so not very common. This card has 2 abilities. The first one is pay 1 and tap it to put a charge counter on Brain in a Jar. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Brain in a Jar from your hand without paying its mana cost. Second one, you pay 3 and remove X charge counters from Brain in a Jar to scry X, which we aren't really going to be using this ability that much, but it's not bad to have. The first one is just good because you're going to build it up over time, and it's going to help you cast more stuff as the game goes on. And since we're in Is It colors, red and blue, we're going to be doing a lot of spell slinging, so this is going to come up pretty often. I do wish it said equal to or less than, so there will be a point in the game where you'll get 7 counters on this, and then you've already cast your 7 drop, so you won't be able to do anything else, but it's still very helpful to have in the early game. So this is my deck here on Moxfield. This has all the cards I talked about in the video, plus the rest of the deck. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and like the video so that I know I'm doing a good job and people are enjoying this. And if you have any ideas of commanders that I should make a deck for next, please leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching.